The discovery. The static crackle of deep space communication filled the bridge of the UES Pathfinder as Commander Sarah Martinez stared at the holographic display before her. The object that had triggered their long-range sensors shouldn't have been there. A crystalline structure floating at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, its surface etched with patterns that could only be artificial. "Dr. Chen, what are we looking at?" Martines asked, her dark eyes fixed on the slowly rotating image. The ship's chief scientist adjusted his glasses, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It's like nothing we've ever seen, Commander. The structure appears to be composed of a material that doesn't match anything in our database. More importantly, it's generating energy readings that suggest it's still active after, well, based on the crystalline degradation patterns, at least several million years." The Pathfinder had been tasked with mapping the outer reaches of the solar system, preparing for humanity's first serious attempts at interstellar travel. Finding an alien artifact hadn't been part of the mission parameters, but as Martinez watched the strange object pulse with an inner light, she knew their mission had just changed dramatically. "Lieutenant Santos, bring us in closer." "Dr. Chen, I want every sensor we have focused on that thing. If it so much as hiccups, I want to know about it." As the Pathfinder drew closer, the artifact's true scale became apparent. What had appeared modest at a distance revealed itself to be nearly half a kilometer in length, its crystalline surface reflecting the distant sunlight in ways that seemed to defy physics. "Energy signature is spiking," Lieutenant Santos reported, her hand steady on the controls despite the tension in her voice. "The object appears to be responding to our presence." The crystalline structure pulsed with increasing intensity, bands of light racing along its geometric patterns. Dr. Chen's instruments chirped urgently as new data flooded in. "Commander, it's generating a localized quantum field. The energy patterns suggest some kind of communication attempt." Martinez straightened in her command chair. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, but no one had expected it to happen like this, at the edge of their own solar system. "All hands to stations. Dr. Chen, can you interpret any of this?" Before the scientist could respond, the artifact released a burst of energy that washed over the Pathfinder like a wave. The ship's systems flickered momentarily, then stabilized. In the center of the bridge, a holographic projection materialized, a being of pure light and geometric patterns that somehow conveyed both age and intelligence. "To those who find this beacon, we are the archivists," the projection spoke, its voice resonating with harmonics that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly to their minds. "If you are receiving this message, then our worst fears have been realized. The Void Hunters have come." The projection shifted, showing scenes of devastation on a cosmic scale. Entire star systems vanished into darkness, while massive entities that defied description moved between the stars like living shadows. For millions of years, we archivists have preserved the knowledge and achievements of countless civilizations. We built a network of beacons throughout the galaxy, safeguarding the legacy of 1,000 species. But now, something hunts us, something that doesn't just destroy civilizations. It erases them from existence itself. Martinez exchanged glances with her senior staff. The implications were staggering. Not only was humanity not alone in the universe, but they might be walking into the middle of a cosmic war. "Dr. Chen, are you recording all of this?" "Every bit, Commander. The data streams are incredible. This single transmission contains more information than all of human scientific knowledge combined." The holographic archivist continued, its form shifting like liquid light. "We have seeded these beacons throughout space, hoping to find allies with the potential to stand against the darkness. Our observations of your species suggest you possess something unique, a combination of adaptability, creativity, and determination that we have rarely encountered. You approach problems in ways we never considered. This may be the key to survival." The projection expanded, filling the bridge with star maps and technical diagrams that made Dr. Chen gasp in amazement. "These coordinates lead to our last surviving outpost. If you are willing, come find us. But be warned, the Void Hunters are drawn to advanced technology. Your very discovery of this beacon may have already attracted their attention. As if in response to these words, the ship's sensors blared a warning. Lieutenant Santos' hands flew over her controls. Commander, detecting massive gravitational disturbances at the edge of our sensor range. Something's coming. The holographic archivist flickered urgently. They approach. You must choose quickly, flee to the safety of your world, or join us in our fight for survival. The coordinates are yours, along with enough technical data to help you reach us. The choice must be yours freely made, but know this, the Void Hunters will not stop with us. Every civilization, every spark of intelligence in the galaxy, will eventually face their hunger. Martinez stood, her decision already made. Humanity had spent centuries looking to the stars, dreaming of their place in the cosmic community. Now they had their chance, not just to join it, but to help save it. Dr. Chen, download everything you can from that beacon. Lieutenant Santos, plot a course back to Earth. We need to present this to the United Earth Council immediately. The hologram gave one final message before fading. Choose wisely, children of Earth. The fate of not just your species, but all sapient life, may depend on what you decide. As the Pathfinder turned back toward the inner solar system, its sensors detected the first signs of the massive distortions approaching from deep space. The crew worked with focused intensity, knowing they were now racing against time. Humanity had just been thrust onto a galactic stage, and their next moves would determine not just their own fate, but potentially that of all intelligent life in the galaxy. Commander Martinez watched the alien beacon recede on their view screen, its crystalline surface still pulsing with ancient power. They had come looking for a way to the stars, and instead found both a terrible threat and an extraordinary opportunity. Whatever came next, she knew that humanity would face it as they had faced every challenge in their history, with courage, creativity, and an unwavering determination to survive. The real question was, would it be enough? First contact. 3 months after the discovery of the beacon, the UES Pathfinder led a small fleet of Earth's most advanced ships through the depths of interstellar space. The coordinates provided by the archivists had led them far beyond any previous human exploration, to a region where the very fabric of space seemed to shimmer with unknown energies. Commander Martinez stood on the Pathfinder's bridge, now upgraded with technology derived from the beacon's data. The ship herself had been transformed, incorporating crystalline matrices that Dr. Chen swore would give them at least a fighting chance if they encountered the Void Hunters. Final checks complete, Lieutenant Santos reported, her fingers dancing across the new hybrid controls. The fleet is in formation and ready for the final jump. Martinez nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. The United Earth Council had debated for weeks before agreeing to this mission. Some had argued for isolation, for building up Earth's defenses and hoping the Void Hunters would pass them by. But in the end, the majority had agreed. Humanity had never prospered by hiding from challenges. Signal the fleet, Martinez ordered. Initiate quantum jump in 3, 2, 1. Reality twisted around them as the ships activated their new drive systems. The journey that should have taken centuries was compressed into moments of mind-bending displacement. When they emerged, the sight before them left even the most seasoned crew members speechless. The Archivist Outpost was a structure that defied conventional physics, a massive lattice of crystalline formations that seemed to exist in more dimensions than human minds could process. Parts of it phased in and out of visibility, while others glowed with the same inner light they had seen in the beacon. Multiple energy signatures detected, Santos reported. They're scanning us. Wait, receiving a transmission. The bridge filled with light as a holographic figure materialized, an archivist in their true form, far more complex and alien than the simple projection from the beacon. Its body was a constantly shifting pattern of geometric shapes and energy flows, somehow managing to convey both ancient wisdom and childlike curiosity. "Welcome, children of Earth," the being spoke, its voice carrying the same mind-touching harmonics they remembered. "I am Keeper Arxis, guardian of this repository of knowledge. We have watched your approach with great interest. Your adaptation of our technology is unexpected, creative. This confirms our hopes about your species." Martinez stepped forward. "I am Commander Sarah Martinez of the United Earth ship Pathfinder. We come seeking alliance against our common enemy." "Yes." Arxis' form shifted, displaying patterns that somehow conveyed both approval and concern. "The Void Hunters draw closer each day. Already they have consumed 3 more civilizations since we left our message in your system. But before we discuss alliance, you must understand what you face. Please, dock your vessels. There is much to show you." The docking process itself was a testament to human adaptability. The Archivist structure hadn't been designed for solid matter ships, but between human ingenuity and Archivist quantum manipulation, they'd managed to create stable interfaces. Martinez led a delegation through corridors that seemed to rearrange themselves as they walked, eventually entering what could only be described as a museum of lost civilizations. Holographic displays showed thousands of species, their achievements, their art, their science, all preserved here in this last bastion of the Archivists. "For millions of years, we have preserved the knowledge of every civilization we encountered," Arxis explained, leading them through the displays. "We believe that understanding, true, deep understanding of the cosmos and its peoples, was the highest calling. The Void Hunters are our antithesis. They don't simply destroy civilizations. They consume their very essence, erasing all trace that they ever existed." Dr. Chen, who had been analyzing everything with his enhanced sensors, spoke up. "These preservation techniques, the quantum storage matrices, they're incredible. But I don't understand. With this level of technology, how have you been unable to stop them?" Arxis' form dimmed slightly. "The same dedication to preservation that drove us to create all this has become our limitation. We think in patterns, in established ways. For millions of years, this served us well. But the Void Hunters, they are chaos incarnate. Our every strategy, every defense, becomes predictable to them. We need something else, something unpredictable. We need human chaos." The delegation exchanged glances. Humanity had often been criticized by its own philosophers for being too chaotic, too unpredictable, too prone to illogical leaps and risky innovations. Now, those very traits might be their salvation. "Show us everything," Martinez said firmly. "Every encounter, every strategy attempted, every piece of data you have on these Void Hunters. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before, on our own scale. We survived because we refused to accept defeat, because we always found another way. Now we'll help you find another way." Arxis' form brightened. "Yes, this is exactly what we hoped for. But be warned, the next few days will change everything you think you know about reality itself. Are you prepared for this?" Martinez smiled grimly. "Humanity has been preparing for this moment since we first looked up at the stars and dreamed. We're ready." What followed was a crash course in cosmic history and physics that pushed the human delegates to their absolute limits. The Archivists shared knowledge that revolutionized their understanding of space, time, and existence itself. But more importantly, they began to see patterns that the Archivists, for all their knowledge, had missed. Human perspectives, unbound by millions of years of tradition, began to spot possibilities that had never been considered. And in the depths of space, drawing ever closer, the Void Hunters sensed something new, something unpredictable, something that would either be their next meal or their ultimate downfall: the human element. Dr. Chen stood before a holographic display that would have broken the minds of most humans a few months ago. Now, after weeks of intensive learning with the Archivists, he saw patterns in the quantum foam of reality itself. But more importantly, he saw what the Archivists had missed. "You're approaching this all wrong," he announced to the assembled group of human and archivist scientists. You've been trying to fight the Void Hunters with pure order, with perfect patterns. That's exactly why you're losing. Keeper Arx's shifted forms, geometric patterns swirling in what the humans had learned to recognize as curiosity. Explain, Dr. Chen. How else would one combat chaos except with order? Commander Martinez smiled, already seeing where Chen was going. The weeks of collaboration had taught her to recognize when human perspective was about to shatter millions of years of established thinking. By being more chaotic than they are, Chen replied, manipulating the display. Look at your combat records. Every time you establish a perfect defense, they eventually break it. Every time you create an ordered attack pattern, they adapt. But look here. He highlighted a particular battle. This skirmish, where your ships were forced to improvise due to a quantum fluctuation, you actually drove them back. The archivist's forms rippled with something between disbelief and dawning comprehension. Lieutenant Santos, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. It's like jazz, she said, earning confused ripples from the archivists. Earth music. Classical music follows rigid patterns, precise rules. Jazz understands those rules, then deliberately breaks them in creative ways. That's what we need to do here. Understand the fundamental rules of reality, then break them creatively. Martinez watched as the human archivist team began to work with renewed energy. The archivists provided the deep understanding of cosmic principles that humanity had barely begun to grasp. The humans, in turn, provided what millions of years of ordered existence had stripped from the archivists: the ability to think sideways, to make impossible leaps of logic, to try things that shouldn't work. Days blurred into weeks as they worked. The archivist outpost became a crucible of innovation, where human chaos theory merged with quantum mechanics in ways that defied conventional physics. They began small, testing their theories on probes and unmanned vessels. The first breakthrough came when Santos suggested incorporating randomness generators into the quantum shield matrices. If we can't predict what our shields will do, neither can they, she argued. The resulting tests showed a 300% increase in defensive capabilities. The second breakthrough was Chen's, inspired by watching his daughter's screensaver back on Earth. What if we don't try to stop their entropy effect? He proposed. What if we redirect it, loop it back on itself? Every action they take to consume energy would actually generate more energy. But it was Martinez who put it all together. During a late-night session staring at battle simulations. We're still thinking too directly, she announced. We're trying to fight them in normal space. But what if we pull them into a space we create, a space that operates by our rules? The concept was audacious, borderline insane. Create an artificial pocket universe with laws of physics designed specifically to trap and neutralize the Void Hunters. The archivist's initial calculations said it was impossible. Then Chen pointed out that they were using ordered mathematics to calculate a deliberately chaotic system. Stop trying to solve for a perfect solution, he told them. We need to solve for an imperfect solution that works perfectly because of its imperfections. The archivists began to understand. Millions of years of preserving knowledge had taught them to see the universe as a place of order, of patterns to be understood and maintained. Humanity, with its brief, chaotic existence, saw it differently, as a place of endless possibility where the rules themselves could be rewritten. As their work progressed, the Void Hunters drew closer. Long-range sensors detected them consuming entire star systems, their entropy field growing stronger with each civilization devoured. But for the first time in millennia, the archivists felt something new. Hope. Your species continues to astound us, Arxis told Martinez one cycle, as they watched another successful test of their hybrid technology. We spent eons learning the rules of reality. You spend a few decades learning them, and immediately ask, how can we break these in interesting ways? Martinez smiled. That's humanity for you. We see limits as challenges, not absolutes. Now we just have to hope our brand of chaos is stronger than theirs. An alarm blared through the outpost, and Santos' voice came over the comm. Commander, long-range sensors just picked up a massive void signature. They're coming. 3 weeks at current speed. Martins met Arxis's gaze. Time to find out if our crazy plan works. Are your people ready to embrace chaos? The Keeper's form shifted through complex patterns before settling into something new. A hybrid of archivist geometry and human unpredictability. We are ready to try something new. After all, as you humans say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Actually, Martins corrected with a grim smile. In this case, we're counting on a very specific kind of insanity. Let's show these void hunters what happens when order and chaos work together. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to prepare the largest trap ever conceived, to coordinate a defense of 2 radically different species, to ready themselves for a battle that would determine the fate of all civilizations past, present, and future. The greatest battle in galactic history was about to begin, and humanity was about to show the cosmos why you should never underestimate a species that turned its own chaos into a strength. The gambit. The void between stars rippled as reality itself began to tear. The void hunters moved like living darkness, a fleet of impossibly vast shapes that defied comprehension. Their entropy field preceded them, dimming stars and unraveling the fabric of space-time itself. Commander Martinez stood on the bridge of the UES Pathfinder, now transformed by archivist technology into something that would have been unrecognizable to Earth's engineers. Crystalline growths pulsed along the walls, merging human intuition with ancient knowledge. All ships report ready, Lieutenant Santos announced, her hands dancing across controls that responded to both touch and thought. The archivist quantum matrices are synchronized with our chaos engines. Dr. Chen's voice came through the comm from the science lab, where he coordinated with a team of human and archivist scientists. Reality pocket is stable. Well, as stable as deliberately unstable space-time can be. We'll only get one shot at this. Martinez took a deep breath. The plan was either brilliant or insane, probably both. They had created a trap, a pocket of artificial space-time, where chaos and order would work together to turn the Void Hunter's own nature against them. But to spring it, they needed to let the enemy get dangerously close. Keeper Arxis, Martinez called to the archivist leader, whose form shimmered beside her on the bridge. Your people are ready. The geometric patterns of Arxis' body shifted in what Martinez had learned was anticipation. We have existed in perfect order for millions of years. Today, we embrace chaos. It is exciting. The first wave of Void Hunters entered their sensor range. Even with their enhanced technology, looking directly at them was difficult. They seemed to absorb not just light and matter, but the very concept of existence itself. They're scanning us, Santos reported. Detecting massive energy buildups. They're preparing to attack. Hold position, Martinez ordered. Let them think we're just another civilized species waiting to be consumed. Dr. Chen, status of the pocket. Ready on your mark. Remember, once we initiate, there's no turning back. Either this works, or... He didn't need to finish. Everyone knew the stakes. If their plan failed, they wouldn't just die. They would be erased from existence itself, their entire civilization reduced to less than a memory. The Void Hunters drew closer. On the view screen, their massive forms blotted out the stars, reality warping around them like water down a drain. They moved with absolute confidence, the assurance of predators who had never known defeat. They're entering optimal range, Santos announced, tension evident in her voice. 30 seconds to effective entropy field contact. Martinez watched the distance counters tick down. Everything depended on precise timing, letting them get close enough to be trapped, but not so close that their entropy field would disrupt the pocket's formation. It was like playing chicken with a black hole. All ships, she commanded, her voice steady despite the pressure. Prepare to execute Operation Jazz. On my mark. The Void Hunters suddenly accelerated, as if sensing the trap. Their entropy field surged forward, threatening to tear apart their carefully laid plans before they could spring them. "Now," Martine had shouted. "Execute." The human fleet and archivist outpost moved in perfect chaotic harmony. Ships darted in seemingly random patterns that followed complex mathematical formulas derived from jazz improvisation. The space around them began to fold, not with the usual precision of archivist technology, but with wild, unpredictable fluctuations guided by human intuition. "Pocket forming," Chen reported excitedly. "The chaos engines are working. Reality matrix at 300% normal flux." The Void Hunters reacted, but for the first time in their ancient existence, they found themselves unable to predict their prey's movements. Where they expected order, they found chaos. Where they sought chaos to consume, they found order hiding within it. "They're trying to retreat," Santos called out. "The entropy field is fluctuating." "Now, Arxis," Martine had commanded. The archivist outpost pulsed with power accumulated over millions of years, channeled through systems designed by humans who had only just learned of their existence. The pocket of artificial spacetime snapped into existence around the Void Hunters, like a net made of reality itself. "Pocket stable." Chen's voice was triumphant. "They're trapped." But the Void Hunters weren't finished. They thrashed against the boundaries of their prison, their entropy field straining against the artificial laws of physics containing them. The pocket began to warp. "We're losing containment," Santos warned. "The pocket is destabilizing." Martinez watched as their carefully crafted trap began to unravel. The Void Hunters' power was immense, their ability to consume reality itself threatening to overcome even their hybrid technology. Then she saw it, a pattern in the chaos, a rhythm in the destruction that reminded her of something from Earth's past. A last, desperate idea formed. "Dr. Chen," she called out, "remember what you said about jazz, about understanding the rules to break them. What if we break all of them at once?" There was a moment of silence as Chen processed the implications. That would be like creating a quantum supernova. We'd be rewriting the laws of physics themselves. It could destroy everything. Or it could be exactly what we need. Martines countered. "Arxis." The archivist's form pulsed with rapid calculations. "This goes against everything we have learned in millions of years of existence. It is completely irrational, totally unpredictable. It is perfect." The Void Hunters sensed something changing. Their struggles became more desperate as reality itself began to shift around them in ways that even they, the consumers of civilizations, had never encountered. "All ships," Martinez commanded, "prepare to initiate quantum breakdown on my mark. Let's show these cosmic horrors what happens when you corner a species that thrives on breaking rules." The final phase of the battle was about to begin, and with it, perhaps the most audacious gambit in the history of the universe. Humanity and the archivists stood together, order and chaos united, about to attempt something that had never been done before, and if they succeeded, could never be done again. Humanity's legacy. "All ships, synchronize chaos engines to my mark," Martinez commanded. "Prepare to invert your quantum matrices on my signal." The combined fleet moved in perfect discord, each ship following patterns that shouldn't have worked, shouldn't have been possible. The Void Hunters thrashed within their prison of warped spacetime, their entropy field straining against laws of physics that kept changing, shifting, refusing to settle into anything they could consume. "Commander," Dr. Chen's voice was tense, "if we do this, we're not just breaking the rules of physics, we're rewriting them. The effects could ripple across the entire galaxy." "Better that than letting these things consume everything," Martines replied. "Arxis, are your people ready?" The archivist's form pulsed with complex patterns. "We have spent millions of years preserving knowledge. Now we will help create new knowledge, new laws." "It is fitting." The Void Hunters sensed the building power. Their struggles became more violent, more desperate. The pocket universe containing them began to crack under their assault. "Containment failing," Santos called out. We need to do this now. Martinez took a deep breath. In her mind, she saw Earth, saw all the civilizations that had already fallen to these cosmic horrors, saw all those that would fall if they failed. Begin quantum inversion. All ships. Execute final movement of Operation Jazz. What followed defied description in any known language. The combined human and archivist fleet began to move in patterns based on Earth's most chaotic music, their chaos engines pumping pure randomness into the fabric of space-time. The archivist outpost, pulsed with power accumulated over millions of years, channeled through systems designed by humans who dared to imagine the impossible. Inside the pocket universe, reality itself began to unravel, not in the consuming void of entropy, but in a wild, creative burst of new possibilities. The Void Hunters found themselves trapped in a space where the very concepts they used to consume existence were being rewritten. Quantum flux at 500% and rising, Chen reported, his voice filled with wonder. The laws of physics they're changing faster than the Void Hunters can adapt. It's working. The Void Hunters tried to fight back, tried to consume the chaos itself. But for the first time in their ancient existence, they encountered something they couldn't consume, because it refused to stay stable long enough to be devoured. Maximum power. Martinez ordered. Push the chaos engines past their limits. The combined fleet's engines screamed as they poured more power into the reality warping field. The pocket universe blazed with impossible energies as order and chaos danced together in ways that had never been seen before and would never be seen again. Then, in a moment that would be remembered for as long as civilization existed, it happened. The Void Hunters, entities that had consumed countless civilizations, that had seemed as eternal as entropy itself, began to unravel. Their very nature, the ability to consume ordered existence, became their undoing as they found themselves in a space where order and chaos were one and the same. They're breaking down, Santos reported in awe. The entropy field is collapsing in on itself. The death of the Void Hunters was like watching entropy itself die. Their massive forms twisted in impossible ways, their darkness consumed by light that shouldn't have existed. In their final moments, they experienced something they had never known before: change. When it was over, when the last of the Void Hunters had been undone by the very chaos they had sought to consume, the pocket universe collapsed in on itself, taking with it the modified laws of physics that had made the impossible possible. The human fleet and archivist outpost emerged into normal space. Stars still shone, planets still turned, but something fundamental had changed. The galaxy itself felt different, as if it had witnessed something that had altered its very nature. Status report, Martinez called out, her voice hoarse. All ships reporting in, Santos responded. We've got damage across the fleet, but everyone's alive. The chaos engines are completely burned out. Whatever we did in there, we won't be able to do it again. Perhaps that is for the best, Arxis said, his form settling into new patterns that somehow combined archivist precision with human spontaneity. Some things should remain unique, singular moments in history. The next few weeks were filled with celebration and profound change. The archivists, transformed by their experience with human chaos, began to approach their role as knowledge keepers differently. They still preserved the past, but now they also embraced the possibility of change, of evolution. Humanity, for its part, had proved itself on a cosmic scale. The species that had once stared at the stars in wonder had helped save them. The knowledge shared by the archivists would transform human civilization, but it was humanity's own unique nature, their ability to embrace chaos, to break rules creatively, to imagine the impossible, that had truly made the difference. As the USS Pathfinder prepared to return to Earth, carrying news of their victory and humanity's new place in the galactic community, Commander Martinez stood with Arxis in the outpost's Great Hall of Records. "We've created a new exhibit," the Keeper told her, gesturing to a display showing the battle with the Void Hunters. The day order and chaos worked together to save existence itself. Martinez smiled. Just don't let it become too ordered, too predictable. That's the lesson we learned, isn't it? Sometimes you need a little chaos to keep the universe interesting. Indeed. Arx's form shifted in what she now recognized as amusement. We have existed for millions of years, preserving knowledge, maintaining order. It took a species barely out of its own solar system to show us that sometimes the best way to preserve something is to let it change. As Martinez looked at the display, she saw not just the record of a great victory, but a promise for the future. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not by becoming more like the ancient civilizations they'd encountered, but by being uniquely, chaotically, wonderfully human. The Void Hunters were gone, but the galaxy still held countless mysteries, countless challenges. And now, with the combined strength of human chaos and archivist order, they were ready to face whatever came next. After all, as humanity had always known, the most interesting stories are the ones where you don't know what's going to happen next.